Okay, camera's on. Hey guys, so today we are doing, some people call it banana, but it's, can you see that really well? Sorry, I put it in, I started to work before I started my camera pretty much here. So this is Bottlers, guys. We're making bottler porridge. Again, most of us probably call it, or you know, if you, depending on what part of the world you're listening, watching, it's in the plantain banana family. And yeah, so we call it bottlers. And for those of you in Cayman, I find the bottlers were more affordable than the plantain, so I just went ahead and bought them. And again, so we're simply trying to make a healthy based breakfast. And again, just talk about breakfast. If you again can, according to a lot of statistics on, or facts on, or information on sugar early in the morning, they've kind of said you should drink a nice glass of lemon or lemon water, lemon tea early in the morning instead of jumping right to sugar, right? So look at all the facts on endocrinology and diabetes and all that stuff. So I used to have a, you know, warm bowl of porridge early in the morning. What they've said against a lot of the facts coming out is to defer all that sugar in the like early morning, first thing in the morning, to more again, something more lemony, kind of soury early morning, and then resort to your breakfast later on, like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. So a lot of you guys are, I work from home, but I totally respect all you guys who don't, and therefore, afternoons and the evenings, get your kids to help you cook breakfast for the next morning. What I usually do is stick it in the fridge in a glass bowl, and for the next morning, and then just take it out and warm it up slowly, yeah? So, what I'm really happy, guys, while that is on boiling, I'm talking to you guys about the cinnamon. Now, you guys know all the health benefits of cinnamon. Now, again, you can buy the cinnamon in the pack. What I bought, it was a whole pack at the supermarket. And like anything else, the less you can buy. Eat more whole foods. And yes, everybody's busy, but it makes no sense of just working ourselves to death at a job and destroying our health, and only to find, you know, 60 to 70 years old with diabetes and heart attacks and strokes and all that, because we were too busy to try to take care of our health. So I buy this in pack, and I was very impressed, because I used to, there you go, I used to just blend this up, grind it, but it took a little more time. So again, because time is valuable and we're trying to be healthy and productive at the same time, I put it in my coffee grinder, guys, and I was very impressed. This is again at A.L. Thompson, or if you're in, at Amazon, for those watching the States. I'm sure you can buy it at Amazon, any of your wholesale places. I bought this one at Larry's for like 13 bucks. Kirk's and A.L. Thompson have them too, like for 18. So voila, guys, coffee grinder. Of course, make sure it's all unplugged when you're finished. But I was really impressed before I actually bought it. But you know how it is, when sometimes when people are selling stuff, you kind of just feel they just want to sell you something. And so you got to prove it for yourself. And I was pleasantly surprised. The guy who had bought it from a really good sales guy at Larry's, he had told me that it also do grinding up almonds and beans and what else he told me. Yeah, like cinnamon and that sort of thing. But I kind of had to prove it for myself. So that little blade there is very powerful, guys. Once plugged in, very powerful. I took one of these, and what I did is to break it up into like 3 pieces, so that I didn't put the whole thing in there, but then the machine did the rest, so that little blender blade can cut, man. All right, so voila, so here we go. And then I sieved it. And all you guys know the health benefit. Well, sorry, I shouldn't say all you guys. I've been on a little journey since COVID 2020 to try to eat less packaged stuff and more healthy, but yet we're all busy. So time is valuable, productivity is top priority. And so what I did was ground this up in here, and I did the cloves, guys. Cloves and ginger. Again, I didn't have no ginger left, so I was resort to putting some in the pack one. But again, if you can get the ginger by itself, grind it up here. Usually I grind it up on shredded hair, and then of course when we get it in a container, we sieve it, pour water through it, and sieve it, and leave the trash sitting in here. And again, talking about trash, and this is also the trash from the cinnamon. Talking about that, you simply put that somewhere like in your room, and whenever, if you want to get rid of bad smells or in the house, put that in hot water or one of those little diffusers, light a little candle like that, and you get the a little, not a candle, but the little lighter that they use in restaurants and stuff like that, and make that smell, instead of just throw it in the garbage, make that smell just fumigate in the kitchen. It's lovely, guys. So I was very impressed. This little grinder blended up my my cinnamon, and it did some of my cloves. So we know the health benefits of sorry, we've learned, and I'm on a journey to learn a lot more, the health benefits of cinnamon. And it's such a really, really good spice. Remember, the Bible says, right, the healing of the land is in the plants, pretty much, not verbatim, but that's kind of what it meant. So yeah, so I try to be as whole food as possible. And when I do stuff like this food, guys, I usually try to do enough that lasts me for a couple days, so I'm not always having to turn this on. But most of my cooking I try to do, again, kind of like batches. That helps you be productive. So now to tell you how much we need in here, it's all going to depend on how many people you're cooking for, how much. So you can kind of put it according to taste, depending on how much bottlers you're using, because of how much people you're feeding. So we're going to pause this for a minute and come right back. Hey guys, so while I was waiting for this, while I'm waiting for the bananas, the bottlers to cook, I decided to go ahead and try blending some more. Again, productivity is important. Blending, and so what I want to put down, get a little container, have some cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, all blended up. And again, if you can get the stuff in its whole form as much as possible, it's better for you. So again, I used to do this, and it does it, but slower, and time is so valuable. So what I did was, I tried one of these, just tried one, and then one of my sticks in here, one of the sticks in here, broke it all up, and voila, I'm really impressed, guys. This little coffee grinder. Now, I'm stopping to talk as well, because they said you should, when you put on the lid, and let it grind for a bit, then you should also stop and give it a break to cool down, so to make sure you don't overheat it, the machine, because again, that little burger there, and again, don't forget, whenever you plan to take this out, pull this cord out. Safety. Yeah. So I'm really impressed with it. And what you also want to make sure for you, because many people have not used these little coffee grinders before. I didn't. I honestly didn't even know of them. I really did not. Till I was followed. Shout out to my friend, one of my friends, Courtney, and Olivia Collingsworth in the US. They love coffee, and I got to like it too, but the sugar, I try not to add in syrup in my coffee, because look at the effects of sugar, and especially corn syrup, yeah? And look at the, that corn syrup stuff is not very healthy for you, is what I can understand, yeah? So, based on this research I've done. So, I'm gonna try to put this on. Oh, what I want you guys to do, remember, again, and so this is where I learned about coffee grinders and stuff like that, was from them. Remember, again, don't put your finger in while that's plugged in. But this little guy here has to line up with this little guy here. What it does, so you just can't set it on just anywhere and for it to work. Again, there's a little, like I don't know if you can see, there's a little, kind of almost like a little nail in here. And it has to line up with the little nail in on the edge here. So once you push this down, this pushes that little blade down, and makes it spin and break it up. So just thought you guys might have one little lesson on coffee grinder, fast way to ground up your cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and of course how to use this, right? Alright, so we're going to show you guys how, again, while our bottlers are cooking, they're almost done. Now again, the hardest thing in here is the nutmeg. That comes hard, as you guys can see, right? So I don't know if soaking them overnight would help soften them. But let's just, again, and they made this little button where it doesn't stay down. They can't just press start and leave it. And part of the thing is, again, you want to make sure that it's cooling a little bit so you don't overheat it. And it doesn't feel warm at all. But again, what I was told when I purchased it was to make sure, you know what I mean, stop a little bit and cool it down. Again, this is awesome, guys, to be able to have freshly done. Just like your coffee, people say coffee is not great unless you're freshly grounded, or it's much better when it's freshly grounded. So again, don't put your finger in. Let me unplug this for a minute. I wanna test this little. Yeah, that little guy is hard. Whoa, it's cutting it up. It is cutting it up, but it's very hard. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take it easy on the machine a little bit. Again, the cinnamon, it does its thing. The cloves, it does its thing. But these little nutmeg guys are pretty sturdy, is an understatement. Let's see what it's done. Yeah, it's down to about half that. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna probably stop for now. That back in. Well, you know what I'm doing. Here's what I'm doing. I'm gonna see what the difference is. I was gonna put it back in there. But again, this is for all you guys. I know time is valuable once again, so I'm very cognizant of time. But it helps you guys see whether, you know, grating halfway and then putting it back in the machine, whether, and again, line this up, whether or not that helps the little grinder. And once it's done, I'm gonna put it in a container, and I'll have enough spices for a few days of breakfast or whatever you want. Usually, you know, anything sweet, cakes, whatever is what you want to add your cinnamon to, right? Or your spices to. Let's see what condition. Plug it in, out, before. Let's see what has happened to that little guy of cinnamon. Oh, really? It helped a lot, guys. It's blended. That will half nut. So I guess if we can get it grated in half. Wow. All that's left is this piece of cinnamon and one little piece of the nut. So we'll go one more time. Oh, you know what I'll do, guys? Here's what I'm gonna do. The little machine is a little warm, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to put this piece, I'm going to sieve this. And if that extra big piece of cinnamon stuff, I put it back in the container, yeah? Or again, you can keep it and, you know, put this stuff in the water on your stove and just fumigate your house with nice, fresh cinnamon and cloves. Oh my goodness, guys, it smells great. Cinnamon and clove smells great around the house, really good. And again, how a lot of people do it is they put it in water, and just hot water on the stove and keep the pot open, and the smell is just going through your house, at least in the kitchen area, depends on the size of your house. But it is so awesome to smell those cloves and cinnamon. Oh, here's what I forgot to tell you guys too. I had a piece of ginger that I had grated up before. That was kind of dumpy. I threw that in here, and yeah, that has shredded in. I'd already grated it. That too has shredded in even smaller. So these little coffee grinders are pretty good, guys. But again, I'm gonna stop, make it cool down because I feel a little warm. And they're such a treasure. They really, really are such a treasure for if you want to do freshly ground. Again, coffee, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger. Ginger, of course, we usually use more in a blender. But again, I had some and I put it in there. You can definitely smell it in this spice concoction. And yeah, I'll have enough then to this little whole guy. That's gonna last me for a while, which again, it saves time not always having to clean this and mess this up and clean it and create your create your concoctions of nutmeg, cinnamon, ginger. Of course, we would never do garlic. We have our other, I have another type of, it was only like $18 as well. Little cutter, blender, chopper, that's the word I'm looking for my, that I use for my nutmeg, sorry, for my garlic. And today also I'm going to try, while I'm doing this, talking about a little chopper, I'll show you that later. I'm also going to try chopping up my parsley. I'm going to do some juicing after a few minutes. And again, when I put this down, guys, it's usually when I come in the kitchen, it's kind of like every other day. I don't have to come in every day to do cooking because I try to do what you call batching, right? And yeah, so again, that is not going to get thrown in the garbage at all. At all, it will not. For those of you speaking about conservation, for those of you who wanted to not even want to turn on your stove, these spices can be put in, I think we call them diffusers, right? Where, you know, like when you want to burn your essential oils and stuff. I found a nice ceramic, again, I don't like burning anything in plastic, but I found a nice little ceramic one at Laris. I like their, I think their store is nice and affordable. And yeah, I just burn it right in there. I just burn the leftovers and turn on a match, that way you don't have to burn electricity. And once again, it fumigates the whole place. I'll show it to you. I'm gonna stop the video, go get it, and then come back and show it to you. Okay, sorry, it's on. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. What do we call these? Little diffusers or little, can't remember the name. I'm sorry, I got a little blank here now. So again, I love to, when anything to do with heat, I like to use ceramic stuff or glass stuff instead of I know there's plastic ones for health reasons, applying heat to plastic. So what I do is, hey, you know what? I'm not even sponsored by Laris at all, but maybe I need maybe I need to check on them on sponsorship. But anyway, I go so the leftover thick stuff I'm gonna put in the hair. This is coffee I got here, guys. I love, oh my gosh, I love the smell of coffee, and I don't drink it a lot. But I just love the smell. So what I did was bought a Maxwell cup of coffee, and sometimes I just put it in here, light a match, just light a little guy. Sorry, forgot the matches in another place. Light a match, and voila, this just starts little fire there, and that little smell goes all over the room, wherever it's at, and it just smells really good. Coffee if you want, or again, we'll go ahead and put over the thicker pieces of this, put it in there, light a match, run it here, and voila, great. Instead of all these chemicals, with all these air fresheners, with all these chemicals, guys, not good for you. So inhale, inhale, inhale good spices. That's good for your lungs. Cool? Okay. Hey guys, so funny but not funny. Guess what? I got a call and it totally distracted me, guys, from my little bottlers. So guess what? All the water boiled out of them. So so now I have to mash them up a little bit, and I'm gonna take off the skin. Usually I like to blend the skin in there. Now it's not become as smooth as you want it, like a porridge. But again, we're talking about health benefits of the skin, right? So I was gonna leave the skin in, but because I made the pot dry out, got a phone call, distracted me, then I'm gonna take out the skin so it wouldn't be such a hard blend. So it doesn't be such a hard blend. And for any of you guys that are gardening, you can put your peel and stuff like that around. You know, like I'm trying to grow some scallion outside. I try to put that around the scallion or any vegetables or lemongrass I have. Put it around there to nourish the plants. Usually any of this good stuff is good for that, is what I understand. But only drawback, like everything has its pros and cons, right? Only thing about throwing food outside, I almost got all the skin, only thing about throwing food outside is you got to be careful of attracting rats. So what I did was I went to Kirk's Home Center, and they had a big container. I think it's like $30. Big container of big tablets like that size for rats, and I just kind of throw it around the area of where I may be throwing food, and that way, if the food attracts the rat will hopefully eat that poison, and voila, then you don't have a problem with rats because you're throwing out food. I really don't, because I had a problem again when it first started, because again I was just throwing out food and not thinking the second time, and had rat issue, got rid of them, thank God. It was just one or two, and voila, don't have it anymore. So now I just go ahead and prevent the problem, and just put my food there, but put like say one or two rat baits around the place, and voila, so that if they come there, they eat that, and voila. So I'll stop for now, put this in a blender, and then get back to you guys, see how it blends. Okay guys, so there you have it. I blended the bottlers, and it come out. Now it's out. Thankfully it stopped. Well, let me pull this out. Thankfully, like all these little devices, you want to, when they start might get overheating, you stop them. Otherwise, their little engines get destroyed. Unless you're buying, I heard the multivitamin, I think multivite, I think it's called, vitamin or whatever. It's another type of blender that is really powerful, commercial grade. They're like $300-400 that stand up to a lot of blending and stuff. So I'm just gonna do that now, and here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'll be honest, I did put in some salt before I did that while it was boiling, I think it was. So I'm gonna try I like a nice seasoning. No, okay, let's try the half thing. Because again, the amount of spices you need is gonna depend. You're gonna put in the depend on how much it is, how many people you're cooking for. So right now I will just try a half teaspoon, which again is a combination of ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon. Yeah, let's just try that. And then I love like I guess anybody love stuff to have a nice flavor, right? So even the cinnamon, guys, it did say artificial flavoring, but I'm gonna put a little bit in here because again you can, you know what, that's not too clean at all. This one, let me clean it for a minute. Yeah, the stopper. There, I'm gonna use this instead. Pour it in a little bit, just to give it flavoring. And again, if you can buy this vanilla as it's very expensive. I've seen it in the supermarket. If you can buy the vanilla as a whole, like little stock, it's expensive, but it's the real thing. Yeah, this one is artificial flavored. So again, I try not to use a lot of, stuff with a lot of chemicals and artificial flavorings, but I just put a little bit in there, right? And so because my blender is cooling down, I'm gonna just do this by hand. I think it's called Vitamix. I think it's one of those really powerful commercial blenders. Like I said, they're $300-400. They stand up to a lot of heavy duty blending. Alright, so let me just taste it in a minute to taste. And then after that, I'm going to put it back on the stove for a few minutes. Let's see. And well, if it's warm, I'm just going to eat like this. Eat some, take out in a bowl, eat like this, have some for breakfast. If it's cool down, and put some in a pot, just some in a pot, and warm it up and leave the rest. Put it in a glass container and store it then. Again, this is what I said, glass container, because look at the health benefits, guys, of putting plastic and even fridges, well, not just microwaves, but plastic and freezers. Yeah, so look at the studies on that. Yeah, so one of the things, so while I'm staring, is one of the things I heard was, I think it was John, I think it was Mr. Google said it was John Hopkins that did a study on putting plastics in freezers. And forgive me if I'm misquoting, but anyway, there was a study and it showed how freezing stuff in plastic, there was some link and correlation to breast cancer. Yeah. So again, do your own research. Do Mr. Google. and just say, is there any link between breast cancer and freezing and plastics? That's all. So, alright, so let me taste it. Could use some more. And guess what? Now I don't have no sugar, guys. I know if people put condensed milk, but if you put a lot of brown sugar, again, for sure, there's facts showing that sugar is a cancer feeder. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna step it up a little bit more to get the taste up without having to. I might put some honey later to give it some sweetness. If not, I'm just gonna, let me just try a half a teaspoon. Let's try that. And yeah, so again, I know a lot of Caribbean people, they love their condensed milk. And yes, I guarantee you, it makes your hominy porridge taste better, makes your corn porridge taste better, makes your banana porridge taste better. But again, guys, all that sugar, and I'm telling you, I honestly, oh my goodness, condensed milk tastes good. There's no question, and I think nobody's buying that condensed milk doesn't enhance the flavor. But it's a heavy, it's cream and sugar, and it's as known to be, it's linked to, again, cancer. Sugar is a cancer feeder. That is a fact worldwide. Let's taste it now. Yep, yeah, so I picked up the taste a little bit, and yeah, so again, you can add some honey to it if you want. I'm gonna try having some without any honey, any sugar at all, and I just got a flavor from the banana, cinnamon, nutmeg, and the ginger. Yeah, so that's it for the video, guys. I'm not gonna even heat it up again. I'm just gonna take some out in a bowl, have it for breakfast, and then the rest gets stored. Take it out, put it in a glass container, put it in my fridge, and defrost it in the morning. Take it out of the freezer, put it in the fridge, let it kind of natural defrost as much as possible. So by 11 o'clock when I'm gonna have breakfast again, I have another bowl, it's pretty much defrosted. Because again, when you gotta heat it up, if you heat it on the stove slowly instead of a microwave, do that as well. We're talking about health, happiness, wellness, and yeah, not just productivity and speed and convenience, not at the cost of our health, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me just sum it up here before I do that, for those of you that might want to fast forward to what the ingredients were. So again, I did bottlers, which was cheaper than bananas. You can use plantains as well, but I did bottlers, which is in the family. Caribbean people know what that is. It's the family of bananas and plantains. I used a little ginger. Sorry, this is the same thing. Ginger, but I had the raw ginger that I put it in my little coffee grinder, nutmeg, some cloves, and some cinnamon, and of course a little dash of vanilla flavoring. All right, guys, so that's the ingredients. Of course, oh, did we say salt? Salt. And again, I like the sea salt instead of the iodine salt. So I'm gonna have some. Hope that helped you. And again, for all that work, I got enough that can take me at least 2 breakfasts of porridge. Talk to you later. Take care. Bye.